Thank you for stopping by my live feed this morning. I know you're ready to go. I know you primed your mind this morning. I know you're excited about today and how you're going to perform at a high level because you're a mind athlete. So I'm just going to keep the momentum going. Today, we're going to talk about identity, identity and execution. Most people fail because they don't have a true identity. They don't know who they are. They haven't established themselves with an identity. They're just washing around without an identity, and that can be crucial, especially when you're trying to achieve something for yourself and your family. There's got to be some kind of understanding of who you are and where you want to go and how to get there. And so identity plays a big part in order to get there. Motivation can only take you so far. It's all about who you are and who you're becoming in order to get to where you want to go. And that's a powerful thing. Most people don't think about identity. Most people work off emotions. Most people work off motivation. They see something, they go and grasp for it. They're not locked into who they are and where they want to go. So identity is going to play a huge role in your execution and your performance and how you perform each day. You know, like I said, most people fail because they lack their identity. They live off motivation. And goals aren't achieved by motivation alone. You got to have a why you're doing something. How important is that why? And then your identity. And when I talk about identity, you're building discipline, you're building habits, you're building something that can help you achieve your goals because there's going to be challenges. And if when those challenges hit, if you don't have a true identity of who you are and where you're going and why you're doing it, well, then things become very, very painful for you. Struggles step in, challenges become overwhelming to get over, to get through, because, like I said, most people they have a goal, they have a dream, they have desires, but they don't have the identity that aligns with it. I'm Greg Washington. I work with professional athletes, top level executives, and I've been doing that for 30 years of my life. And one thing I know about people reaching the top of the mountain and being successful is they know who they are. They have an identity, they have goals, they have an understanding of why they're doing it. Their why is huge. And then they execute, they gain knowledge, they put themselves around people that can help them grow and develop them. I say it again, develop them. So find out who they are. They're building an identity. They're not working off emotions. They're not working off motivation. Right? So work ethic is going to be key, but without an identity, it can become very hard. And so what I mean by that is you tell your friends or your family member you have a goal, a dream, and they don't have an identity. They have a belief in that maybe you may not be able to achieve that goal, that dream. And all of a sudden you just jump in that boat with them and you just go down the stream with them because all of a sudden your beliefs are their beliefs because you don't have an identity. And that's unfortunate because a lot of people live in a box like that. It's it can be very painful, not just finances, but spiritually, because you're put here for a certain reason. You're supposed to be doing certain things. You're building an identity for yourself because that's you're made special for somebody. And so that identity has got to be given to somebody. It's got to be, service to somebody. And if you never built that up, like I said, spiritually, financially, it can be very difficult without that. Like I said, motivation is good for you for a second. Everybody gets motivated for a second, but disciplined actions, intentional disciplined actions, intentional discipline focused actions, mindset, heart, work ethic, identity, you got to live in that. You got to live in that if you want to reach your goals. It's just true. Anything else? Anything else? Well, I guess you're lying to yourself. And as a mind athlete, someone that's intentional about where they want to go, You can't be lying to yourself. You can't lie to yourself because then ultimately you're lying to your family. And if you're lying to your family, you really don't have an identity. You're just a character. You're just a character trying to go somewhere. So gain knowledge, develop yourself, find out where where you fit, where you fit. And what I mean by that is you got to work up here. Mindset, mindset, development, personal development, growth. You know, shifting yourself away from paradigms because we all grow up with paradigms. We're all instilled with these paradigms, and we have to some sooner or later we have to step away from that. So you start building an identity, you start escaping some of those paradigms. Now you're on your way. Now you're on your way to being exceptional in what you're trying to achieve and being um, a better servant to people around you, pulling them up and growing them with you because now you have an identity. Now you can stand firm on something. You have something solid to stand firm on. It's not motivation. It's not social media. It's not TikTok. It's not all that. It's really hardcore, solid work on who you are mentally, physically, spiritually, and executing at a high level without no excuses. I don't care if you're tired, you're weak, you're sick, you know, all that lack of motivation, that doesn't matter because your identity keeps you firm on where you're going. So we gotta really address that. We have to. I mean, you can tell if you have an identity. If you stop something, you start something and stop something, or you're inconsistent, or you allow somebody to sway you in your direction, or you give up and or you lie to yourself about where you want to go, all that stuff is lack of identity. I said again, it's lack of identity. You're living off motivation. You ain't trying to go nowhere. You ain't solid in your actions. But if you execute when you're tired, you go to practice when you're tired, you read the playbook when you're tired, you focus when you're tired, you stay disciplined in your work ethic and your habits when you're tired, when you're unmotivated. Now you know you have an identity. Now you're consistent, disciplined, consistent. People can follow that. People want to be around that. But if you're wishy washy, if you're like this, most people don't want to be around that. And it's hard to go somewhere in a straight line if you're wishy washy like this. That's the bottom line. So you got to ask yourself, what standard am I carrying today? Where am I living at? Is my identity solid? Do I have a goal? Can my identity get me to my goal? Am I trying to achieve something better for myself and my family each day? Is my identity getting stronger? My belief, my confidence, my courage, all those things I just said is part of your identity. So ask yourself that. Do you stop? Do you start and stop? Do you sway? Are you stagnant? Are you undisciplined? Have you lowered your standards? Because we don't rise to our goals. We don't do that. You think you do. You think you rise to your goals. I think we've been misled. We've been misled. We think we rise to our goals, but that's not how it works, man. It's not. You only reach your goals when you raise your standards. I say it again. You're only gonna get to where you go want to go and reach your desires and your goals and reach the top of the mountain when you raise your standards. Just like an athlete, I can say I want to play at a high level, but if I'm missing practice, I'm not running my sprints, I'm not catching more balls, I'm not blocking better, I'm not working on my skills. If I'm a volleyball player, if I'm not working on my jumping ability, my lateral movement, all that stuff. If you're an athlete, you got to work on your skills. Just like in business, You got to work on your skills. Just in your relationships, you got to work on your skills. Just as your service to others, you got to work on your skills. And when you're working on your skills, Joel, what did I say? Let me tell you again, you're building your identity. Build your identity so you can be exceptional in life, so you can bring people along with you. You're deserving of that. You're deserving of working up here on your mindset and developing yourself and being special to somebody. But be special to yourself first. Develop yourself first. Stand firm in your identity. Be sharp in your identity. You know, I had a mentor one time. He said, when you walk into some place, you walk in there with you like you have a cape on. Like that cape is flowing. You walk in there solid, like a superhero, with your identity intact. And that any challenges that come your way as a superhero with your identity intact, well, you can handle all the challenges. You're ready for it. So build your identity, grow yourself spiritually, emotionally, health wise, relationships. Build on all those things so your identity is solid and you can move in the right direction, secure your family, and you'll be better for it in the long run. Identity drives execution. Identity drives execution. Be a mind athlete every day, execute at a high level, and remember what this is about. Courage. Have the courage to be great, mind athlete. Have the courage to be great. See you at the top of the mountain. Remember, mama needs a new pair of shoes. It's up to you. Go get them. See you at the top of the mountain. Bye bye, mind athlete. Bye bye.